Legacy of Goku 1. Let's be real. It was a big old piece of poo. You died from dogs, Goku was piss weak, and the game kept pulling you away from the story to do stupid shit. I don't want to get your stupid eggs! But, against all odds, the game sold well enough that it got a sequel. Legacy of Goku 2. After playing the first one, my expectations for this game were lower than my chances of touching a human female. But honestly, I think that's the best train of thought going into this title, because Legacy of Goku 2 is actually fantastic. I might even consider it to be the best Dragon Ball Z game I've ever played. Now, that may seem a bit hyperbolic, hyperbolic, but let's jump in. It's the future timeline. The world is wrecked by the androids, and we're playing as a young, supple, frustrated Trunks. It even reaches further than Xenoverse 2 by giving us a Gohan with only one arm, though his portrait of him chewing tobacco leaves something to be desired. Much like in the animated film, the androids attack a nearby city. Trunks becomes all heroic, hitches up his undies and is like, "We have to stop them!" And then Gohan pulls this shit on him. Trunks wakes up hours later to find Gohan dead and defeated on the battlefield, and screams in frustration and rage, as you can see in his face right there. Trunks then becomes Super Saiyan for the first time, and that is our introduction to this game. Now that is a damn sight better than Legacy of Goku 1, where we are just dumped on Master Roshi's island and have to look for porn magazines. A major issue I had with the first game was that it followed the Gokmeister too closely, when all the interesting shit was happening to the other characters. There's none of that here. Goku isn't even playable until the end section of the game, and he's already level 35. Surprising for a game called Legacy of Goku. We control 5 characters this time around, each with their own unique beam and charge attacks. Trunks has the double sword slash, Vegeta has the double fist smackdown, Pickle twirls like a pixie, and Gohan does flying kicks. It's pretty clear that the inclusion of more playable characters is down to Goku barely appearing in the anime, only popping up at the start and end respectively. Goku takes the same approach to the show as he does to parenting, which is fine by me because that just lets us take control of old mate Pickle, the second best character in the show after Krillin, and let me tell you, he is easily the best character in the game. Once you learn Special Beam Cannon, or the Masenka Papapo, you can just roll through enemies and it is so satisfying. Speaking of satisfying, the combat is an incredible step up too. No longer can enemies stand inside you and tickle your kidneys with their fists. Now there's a small bit of knockback every time you hit an enemy, and the punch sounds more crisp, making it a joy to beat the shit out of these furries in leather jackets. That did sometimes lead to situations where you can trap a boss in an endless loop of ass whooping, but it still felt awesome. Especially compared to this. Enemies make more sense too. We fight security robots built by Dr. Gero, and animals possessed by the Blackwater Mist. Thankfully the only reference to Garlic Jr. And ninjas? Whatever, fuck you, ninjas are rad. I would be a ninja if I wasn't fat. Legacy of Goku 2 was all about the little things. Flying isn't a pointless exercise now. It's used as a means of traveling to a different part of an area and to travel around the world map. They actually made use of space on the screen for the character portraits. I mean, sometimes they look like frames from Dragon Ball Super, but still, you can run. You can actually run. Like, I'm sucking this game's dick really hard at the moment, and I don't think you could really blame me. I mean, it's so big. But this title isn't perfect. Sometimes it does blow its load too soon and glue your eyes shut. There's one point where we need to get to Dr. Gero's lab, and some silly bastard is listening to music, and we have to turn his gramophone house off, which means stumbling around with switches until we look up a walkthrough and find the correct order. Or getting the world martial arts champion, Hercule, a sandwich, which meant we had to get a CD and then save some lost kids from a bus crash. That's not in the anime. Why is it here? Now you might be thinking, you astute Dragon Ball fan you, hey, Goku saved that bus full of kids. Yeah, but if I got through a driving test as Goku and then saved those kids, I wouldn't be complaining. That was the best episode. Piccolo was wearing Goku's clothes, like, yep. Or there was this stupid long-necked dinosaur that wanted to sit on a hot rock, but couldn't bring her stupid fucking eggs, so we had to do it. But we couldn't get touched by anyone because her stupid egg would just shatter, and I had to do it so many goddamn times. Oh my god, I hate anything that pulls us away from the main story. Felt out of place. Like, why does Vegeta give a shit about dinosaur eggs? He'd just blow up the dinosaur and eat the eggs. I feel like the story is strong enough and has enough content to get us through without slowing our progression in these places. And when you slow progression, you remove that sense of urgency. We're supposed to be chasing Dr. Gero and stopping him before he gets to his lab, and suddenly we're piss fighting around with a dinosaur for 30 minutes? I'm sorry for banging on about the eggs, but like, fuck, they make you do it 3 times. It sucks. The thing is, they do some filler content really well. There's one point where Goku becomes all flowery and suggests that we help out some people being attacked by a Triceratops with 3 cock rings on his horns. I know it has nothing to do with the wider story, but it doesn't ruin the pacing of the game, because it's plausible that this could have happened in the 3 years of training leading up to the Android saga. Even after that, there's a genuine moment of pants shittery where Cooler just rocks up and demands a rematch on New Namek. That was fantastic. It was a tense moment, and it's completely optional, and it made me so scared a little bit of Wii came out. Even later on, before the Cell games begin, we hunt for the Dragon Balls, and it's clearly filler content to stretch the game time, but it feels okay, because it's actually part of the story, and you get to fight Mercenary Tao. He's the most dangerous man in the world. These are moments where the extra stuff doesn't break the pacing, and it's so much fun. It's just a shame that it wasn't perfectly implemented throughout. But that's the thing, it's hard to add things to an already solid story. Well, by Dragon Ball standards. And I truly think that the Android and Cell sagas are the second best sagas after the Namek Frieza saga. And the game does a gosh dang darn good job of showing it to us with the limited technology available on the Gameboy Advance. It does suffer from being a bit too wordy at times. I understand that it's using dialogue from the show, but come on! I think more varied character portraits would help. Having this cockeyed Frieza scream for his life with a blank stare doesn't really have the same impact. I do also have one minor nitpick about the fight with Cell at the end. In the show, Goku and Cell fight to a stalemate, at which point Goku stops the fight and is all, yo, I'm too piss weak, I can't fight you bro, and then tags Gohan in. In the game, I was absolutely kicking his dick in, and then Goku decides he's had enough of kicking Cell's ass and wants to give big boy Gohan a shot. I feel like they could have had it so Cell actually does more damage to us, or we did less damage to him so it actually feels like a fair fight. Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2 is fantastic. I truly feel it's the best Dragon Ball Z game I've ever played. It had everything I could possibly want in a sequel. It even has a guy with a wank sock on his couch. And guess what? They made another sequel, Dragon Ball Z Boo's Fury. With so many improvements from the first game, I can't wait to see what's in store with the next installment.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Liam actually makes a good video.
Probably won't, hey.